cottage cheese in ready-to-serve portions.
So easy to use, quick, and no bother at all.
The rest stays really fresh, moist, and creamy.
What if I told you one of the most underrated superfoods in your fridge today was born from a travel accident 5,000 years ago? Picture this. A wanderer embarks on a journey through the ancient lands of the Middle East with milk stored in a pouch crafted from an animal's stomach. After several days, upon opening the pouch, they discover clumps of curdled milk. A mistake? Maybe. A miracle? Definitely. And what came from that moment would become cottage cheese, a food that would fuel warriors, dieters, and TikTok foodies alike. But how did this accident transform into a thriving industry worth billions of dollars? And why are we just now rediscovering it? Let's rewind the clock. Humans began domesticating animals around 7000 BC. As fresh milk spoiled rapidly in the heat, a solution was stumbled upon: curdling the milk to preserve it. Early pioneers in dairy production observed that leaving milk in clay containers in warm temperatures caused it to separate into curds and whey. Instead of discarding the curdled milk, someone tasted it, leading to a pivotal moment in history. That accidental discovery, it wasn't just cheese, it was survival technology. Cheese, particularly the primitive form resembling cottage cheese, served as a vital source of nutrition in hot climates and facilitated easier digestion for lactose-intolerant individuals. From Mesopotamian temples to Neolithic pottery strainers, we find proof that humans had mastered the craft of cheesemaking thousands of years before refrigeration or industrial production. Cheese transcended its role as a mere food item. It emerged as an edible innovation crucial for the advancement of civilizations. As the centuries rolled on, diverse cultures from Egypt to Crete to Rome embraced and enhanced the concept of cheesemaking. Even Greek mythology featured narratives about cheese production. Remember the Cyclops Polyphemus storing milk in stomach bags? By the era of the Roman Empire, cheese had evolved into a culinary art form, with various styles spreading across Europe via the empire's extensive trade routes. But here's where the story takes a curious turn. While aged cheeses got the spotlight, another cheese quietly thrived. The fresh kind, the kind made in cottages, eaten immediately. That's right, cottage cheese. The name cottage cheese isn't just quaint, it's literal. In early America, settlers, after churning butter, were left with skim milk. Instead of discarding it, they curdled the milk to produce soft, moist cheese in their humble home kitchens. This process required no aging or elaborate storage facilities. It was a practical, fresh, and economical approach to cheesemaking. Thus, cottage cheese emerged as a homemade, unassuming, and resilient dairy product. Fast forward to the 20th century, cottage cheese was about to get its big breakthrough. Not because of taste or trendiness, but because of war. During World War I, the US government initiated a campaign to conserve meat supplies for troops deployed overseas. The unlikely hero they chose? Cottage cheese. Posters encouraged Americans to consume more cottage cheese to reserve meat for soldiers on the front lines. The public heeded this call, considering cottage cheese's high protein content as a patriotic alternative. By 1928, annual consumption of cottage cheese in the United States exceeded 80 million pounds. This shift was not a passing phase. Cottage cheese had become a dietary staple. By the 1940s, with World War II in full swing, cottage cheese experienced a resurgence as a substitute for meat during rationing periods. Housewives creatively served it with canned pineapple or sliced tomatoes. Recipe guides featured meatless meals, highlighting cottage cheese as a key ingredient. Affordable, adaptable, and addressing crucial nutritional needs during challenging times, this unassuming dairy product has transformed into a symbol of resilience. Then came the 1970s, the era of health fads and fitness obsessions. Cottage cheese rode the wave to new heights. It became the diet food of the decade. If you picture a plate with cottage cheese and a peach slice, you're probably seeing a 1970s lunch. Low-calorie, high-protein, and versatile, it checked all the boxes. In fact, US sales hit over $1 billion annually. It wasn't just surviving, it was thriving. But just as quickly as it rose, it fell out of favor. In the 1980s, a new contender emerged: yogurt. Flavored, fruity, and more photogenic, cottage cheese was left in the shadows. By the 2000s, it was labeled outdated, a diet food from the past, relegated to the back of the fridge or not bought at all. The curds were quite literally curdled in public opinion. It's strange, isn't it, how something once cherished can quickly lose its appeal. Cottage cheese, once hailed as patriotic, then health-conscious, became uncool. People mocked its texture, and associations with being food for older generations led to a decline in popularity. Generations that had grown up with colourful yogurt cups saw no reason to spoon out cold curds. Sales plummeted. For years, it seemed like cottage cheese might just be a relic of history, like bell-bottom jeans or Jell-O molds. But here's where the story takes another twist. Just as it was slipping away into obscurity, cottage cheese began to stage an unexpected comeback. Thanks to, you guessed it, TikTok. Food creators started blending cottage cheese into everything from ice cream to smoothies. Viral videos showcased high-protein recipes using whipped cottage cheese for pancakes, dips, and desserts. The creamy, lumpy underdog was suddenly trendy. In 2023 alone, US cottage cheese sales jumped nearly 16%. Brands raced to release new flavors and single-serve cups. Some even infused herbs, spices, and fruit mix-ins. But is this just a passing phase? Another flash-in-the-pan internet trend? Or has cottage cheese truly found a new groove? Let's not forget that cottage cheese has been here before. It survived ancient desserts, Roman roads, colonial kitchens, and world wars. Its secret weapon? Adaptability. While trends may change, the core benefits remain the same. It's affordable, it's packed with protein, and it's surprisingly versatile. And now it's aligning perfectly with today's high-protein, low-carb, health-conscious lifestyle. Let's connect the dots. From an accidental discovery by a thirsty nomad to the clever farmhouse cheese of early settlers, from a wartime meat replacement to the unlikely darling of 1970s dieting, cottage cheese has always answered a need for nutrition, convenience, survival, and now modern fitness culture. Isn't that kind of beautiful? A dish often underestimated is now reclaiming its position. Whether in your smoothie, on your toast, or in your protein-rich dessert, cottage cheese is scripting a compelling comeback story. But more than that, it's a story about how the old becomes new again when the time is right. And perhaps this time, cottage cheese won't require a war to prove its worth. Maybe it just needs a little whipped fruit, a viral post, and the right generation to see what others missed. So, if this video sparked your curiosity, we invite you to join us and stretch that curiosity even further. The next deep dive might just surprise you even more. Here at Dairy Decoded, we don't just melt cheese, we melt minds with delicious stories from the world of dairy, farming, and food culture. Your support helps us to keep exploring and uncovering the hidden side of what we eat. So don't be shy, hit that subscribe button and age like a fine cheese. Thank you for watching.